All righty. Oh, good morning, everyone, especially those in the great city of Peekskill. Welcome to this weekly update on myself, Andre Rainey. I am the proud mayor of the great city of Peekskill. Today is March 16th, 2021, and I'm joined by our awesome city manager, Andy Stewart. How you doing, Andy? Good morning.
Very well. Thank you, Mayor. It's great to be with you.
Absolutely. Great to be back once again. So we're going to do what we've always do and just share some information that's happening here in the city of Peekskill. And as always, we're going to start off talking about our COVID numbers. As many of you are fully aware, the numbers are decreasing by the day. It looks like things are actually looking up for the city of Peekskill as well as other municipalities in New York State. We still encourage everybody to continue wearing your masks. Vaccinations are slowly coming down, but surely coming down. So if you can set up an appointment, if you want to get a vaccination, call your doctor, set up an appointment, and see how long it may take for you to do so. If we can get more vaccines in the city of Peekskill, we absolutely will. The county executive George Latimer, as well as New York State Senator Pete Harckham, have both been advocating to get a vaccination site here in the city of Peekskill for our community. We did do one at the County Center a few weeks back. We got about almost, I would say, between 240 and 275 vaccinations for our seniors, and we're hoping to get more in the near future. But as of right now, our numbers are looking pretty good. I don't want to say good until they're gone, but they're doing a lot better than they were before.
Well, actually, our COVID case rate is kind of plateaued a little over 100 if you look at the county's map, and those are positive cases reported in the last 14 days. So, people still need to take precautions, wash hands, wear masks, avoid small group gatherings, and of course, get vaccinated. The city does not have a direct role in vaccination, but when the health authorities, when we can help them find space to do that. Another thing is, if you look at the Facebook page, folks should know we did have a request from the health authorities to gather names of people 60 years and over to help a nearby pharmacy, actually, that set aside a few hundred doses for Peekskill residents. And I think we've sent them so far maybe 50 or 70 names. And on the Facebook page, there's a link to click, and you can get your name on that list. And just so you understand, the city isn't directly involved, but they asked us to help kind of bring people out, and it's a service, and we thought we would help out in that way. And at the same time, as the mayor said, we're trying to get the state and the county to actually locate a permanent vaccination site. Sun River Healthcare is vaccinating, local pharmacies are vaccinating, and people are just experiencing the frustrations of getting through that process.
Absolutely. So, again, as he said, we still encourage people to wear your mask in public, wash your hands, sanitize your hands, and take all safety measures, because this is not over. It's far from over. And normally, I would like to say Happy St. Patrick's Day to all of those in the great city of Peekskill. As you know, normally we would have had a parade in the city of Peekskill. It's always the first parade at the beginning of the year in the city of Peekskill, and it's one of the greatest parades that we always seem to have. Because it's the first parade, so many people come out just to see what's going to happen and who's going to be involved in marching and walking during this parade. So there have been virtual parades online. You can watch some of the parades from the previous years. They put a few virtual, well, I shouldn't say they are virtual, but they actually recorded the parades from previous years, just to still get that celebration energy inside of you. If you want to take a look, it's on the city Facebook page. It's also on the city website and YouTube, if you just type in St. Patrick's Day Parade in Peekskill, New York. So we are missing out this year because of COVID, but the spirit of celebrating is still within all of us, of course.
Absolutely. And we're not going to be completely devoid of celebrations. And just as I mentioned, our park superintendent, Kathy Montaldo, last night in city council, went down through a long list of events and programs that they're offering and planning for the spring and summer. One that's right around the corner is the annual Easter egg hunt on Saturday, March 27th. It is something to register for. And the Parks Department is very good in organizing people and having safe programs in terms of a COVID safe plan. So the information is on the city website, and the Parks and Rec more than happy to take registrations on that. It's Saturday the 27th, and they have it by age groups throughout the morning. So Easter egg hunt is coming right up. Snow is melting. Spring is on the way.
No, it's crazy how the snow is still outside.
Yeah, there's still some
Um,
snow. I have one that I look at in the city hall parking lot up right next to the little minibus out there from the seniors or the youth
mhm.
bureau. The snowbank is getting smaller and smaller every day.
Yeah, thankfully. So, and also another initiative that people are aware of is that Kathy brought up last night as well, beginning in April and lasting all the way until November. They'll be doing the weekend bike riding at the View Park, Bike Sundays, I believe they're going to call it. So Sunday mornings at about 9 a.m. to about 11:30 a.m., 12 noon. They're going to close off specific areas in Depew Park for you, your family, and friends can come together and just ride your bikes. You know, it's nice activity, nice exercise, healthy exercise for all of us to do. Make sure you stop by the local juice bar, grab you a drink, a healthy drink before you go out there and ride your bike. It's just a fun activity for people to do to get them outside, get them outdoors. And as the weather gets better, I think the more people will see out there.
Yeah, and also thank the volunteers. There's um, Raphael kind of leads bike rides, and
Yeah,
he and his buddies come out and help people with,
you're right. Yeah, yeah.
maybe
They
tighten up
even
the brakes a little bit, or
right,
helping
right.
people get their seat at the right height. Things that are helpful for people's enjoyment of the roads when they're closed to traffic around the park. It's just a lot of
Mhm.
fun. So,
Absolutely. And everybody is welcome. And of course, safety measures are still going to be requested and required of you. On another note, this Friday afternoon, March 19th, or early evening, I should say, the city of Peekskill will be hosting a virtual celebration with the city of Cuenca leadership in Ecuador to celebrate the actual approval of Peekskill and Cuenca, Ecuador becoming sister cities. We're going to be sharing a lot of different diversity, cultural events, and cultural initiatives that they share over there. We're going to share over here. Some of the things that we do in the city of Peekskill that they admire, they're going to bring over there as well. And I'm looking forward to this. But this Friday evening at about 6:30 p.m., we're going to be hosting a virtual celebration with Peekskill and Cuenca, Ecuador, as we are now officially sister cities.
yeah, and we're putting together the press release on that, and also the live TV broadcast so that anybody can see. And I know that the committee led by Luis Coronel from the Peekskill Cuenca Sister Cities Committee has planned some good stuff. They made a video of Peekskill to show the people in Cuenca, and Cuenca have done the same thing. So those two videos will be shown, and some performances, I think some music and some other kinds of things, just to kind of start a mutual exchange of information and perspective. It's going to be really exciting. So that's Friday night. And so look, if you're interested in tapping into that as on the TV broadcast, just look for the Facebook link to click on for the information about where to find it.
Absolutely. So moving on, two things I want to talk to people about. One is the police reform. But before we get into that, I do want to let people know that the civil service test applications, if you're interested in becoming a police officer, civil service test applications are they're available now up until I believe the end of March. So if you or anyone you know is interested in getting involved, becoming an actual police officer or any level of law enforcement, fill out the application to take the civil service test. The deadline is at the end of March. You can be the change that you want to see, especially in the local police department. So consider filing the application and taking the steps to become an officer.
Yeah, and to that end, Mayor, just as a reminder, tonight in an event co-sponsored between our police department and the NAACP, there will be a Q&A session for anybody interested in finding out more about that test and what's involved in being a police officer. And some of our local police officers will be there as panelists. Derek
Mhm.
Wright, who's in the NAACP, and he's chair of the Criminal Justice Committee for the NAACP, will be the facilitator. Chief Halmy will be there. And again, check the city's Facebook page. It's at 7 p.m. tonight. And
Yeah,
again, and spread the word. If you know somebody, someone who's interested in that career option, and they want a chance just to chat a little bit with the police and find out about the test, this is a great opportunity to do that. And we thank the NAACP for their leadership on that.
absolutely. Yeah, I plan on hopefully being able to join the beginning of it. If not the full meeting, we're definitely at the early portion of it. So that's great. So thank you to the organization, NAA, Peekskill NAACP. And just as we highlighted before, thank you to all of the task force members who contributed so much of their time and effort creating the recommendations that we submitted to the city council. We will be voting on these recommendations very soon. I do want to say that the Human Relations Commission will possibly be hosting continued conversations amongst the community and the police department, and fostering a better relationship for the Peekskill Police Department and the local community. I'm really excited to see this go forward. I'm really hoping it does go forward. For those of you who may have sent in some recommendations to the police task force that wasn't approved or that didn't get on the list, this will be an opportunity to have an ongoing conversation with some of the improvements and changes that the City of Peekskill Police Department can actually make by hearing your voices, and also an opportunity for the Peekskill Police Department to express a little bit of education and information for the people in this community who just may have questions or just may want to know what the Peekskill police are doing to address certain concerns and issues that this community has. I do know many of the members of the community had requested that the Peekskill Police Department implement the duty to intervene policy. It was a recommendation that came up maybe 5 or 6 times by different members of the community. And fortunately, the chief was able to inform the people that this is already a policy that's within the city of Peekskill. It was implemented, I want to say he said around his first few months during his term as the chief. So it's always great to hear community input, and it's always even better to hear community input and know that the police department agrees with the community input by implementing things that they've been asking for or requesting to change. So the Human Relations Commission may be tasked with continuing this conversation, and if they are approved to do these ongoing meetings and town halls, then the community will be notified of how often and when and how to be a participant, and of course how to continue the dialogue to make sure that our police department and our community have a really good relationship. So Andy, before we get to the questions, the last thing I want to say is congratulations to the Peekskill City School District. The football team last weekend was able to do their first practice on the new turf fields. So it was great seeing the videos on the school district website. And congratulations to them for all their work. The football field came out beautiful. The turf field, the city of Peekskill, our youth deserve it more than anything. I was happy to see that. I just want to say, but congratulations to all of them. So. Unless you have anything else on your end, Annie, let me know if there are any questions down there.
Yeah, so we have a couple of questions, so just address them in order.
Right.
One gentleman, last week we talked about the recycling schedule and the need to boost the number of pickups for paper and cardboard. And we said at the time it's a project that we're reviewing. I do not have a proposed change right now. But it's going to happen. We just have to look at the whole schedule, and we're in process on that. So I'm so glad that people want to recycle. They want to recycle more, because
Absolutely.
Every bin that's full of recyclables is trash that doesn't need to be picked up, and we don't have to pay for the tipping fee down at the Wheelabrator plant and so on. So good question. Like anything else, you mention it, you're working on it, and then people want to know sort of what's the result. But it will be, I'm sure, at least a 3 weeks or so before we're ready to propose something. There's a question about sidewalk snow enforcement. The question is, well, why isn't it enforced? And just so folks know, our building department gave out roughly 60 or 70 sidewalk snow removal violations after the last major snowstorm. And so there is enforcement. The question is, why do people fail to move the snow? And I think there's a variety of reasons, but we do have an enforcement process. And one of the policy items we're looking at right now is to identify chronic or kind of frequent flyer property owners who fail to clear their sidewalks. And usually it's a vacant home, or it's a place that's under construction, or a commercial business where there's been they don't have a tenant there, something like that. So we've identified those hot spots, and we're developing a proposal for the city council to look at for a way of tackling them, and kind of raising the standard a bit for those. But for the most part, people are complying with the rule, and the existing enforcement mechanism is making sure that happens.
Okay.
It is really a safety issue, and sometimes it's hard. And we even get calls from people, just saying, I'm an elderly person and I can't get my walk clean. And people who own property, they do have to plan ahead and arrange for that if they can't do it themselves. There's a point here about litter and graffiti being serious problems in Peekskill.
Graffiti.
Particularly litter and graffiti, and particularly this time of year as the snow melts, it really reveals an accumulation of litter. And our DPW has a schedule for downtown litter cleanup. There's one of our gentlemen, you see him in a pickup truck. He does the garage ramps and entrance ways, and then he goes out and goes around. A lot of the litter is around the trash cans, the street trash cans. And so
That's
that
very unfortunate too, if they could just throw it right in the trash.
yeah, it's a maintenance issue. On the graffiti side, the people are welcome and encouraged to report graffiti. We do take code enforcement action. Right now, there's a graffiti on White Plains Linen on the building over there, for example. It's been hit a couple of times. You see the painted over blocks, and then unfortunately, in the last month or so, the building got graffitied again. It's the property owner responsible that has to remove it, but sometimes they don't. And so then the city has to go through a legal process to do it ourselves. And that has a required period of notification. And then you have to go out and do it, and then put the cost of that on their taxes. So it takes a little while. Fortunately, there's a city resident who lives near there who's very quick to report that graffiti. So as soon as it goes up, we get a phone call. And that should be true of any location that's routinely graffitied. If you know of one and there's one in your neighborhood, and you can send in a picture and let us know about it, we'll start that process of enforcement.
Absolutely.
I'm just keeping on going here. So we talked a little about litter and trash. Okay. There's something about street lighting here, and this is very specific. Let me just say that I'm going to put my email address in the chat here. Sometimes there's a really detailed comment or question, and I want to encourage those.
Okay.
But we can't always know all the answers when we're doing this.
Yeah, if there's street lights out, or park lights out, or any lights out in the city of Peekskill, and you happen to notice them, you can definitely contact me, city manager, or the building department. Sometimes even DPW department, to let them know where the light is at and how long it's been out, if it's been out for.
Yeah, no, we've definitely had some trouble with lights down along the riverfront and the park on the walkways. A number of have had to be fixed where the wiring wasn't working right, and it was because a resident really raised the issue and said they're out. That it focused, and we got that done. But they do go out periodically, and we need people to report them. You only notice it at night, and for the most part, our public works employees are not working at night. The police department will see it from time to time, but we welcome reports of the lights being out so that we can fix them.
Yep.
Okay, so those are some of the comments and questions. If there are any other ideas or comments that folks want City Hall to know about, I just put my email address in the chat there, and we'd be
Yes,
happy to
and feel free to people out there who are watching. We do these reports every single week. We share the information. The idea of this actual update was to just give you the update on the numbers of where we are in the city of Peekskill and how we're addressing them. As the numbers come to decline, you'll notice that we talk a little bit more about other things that you should be aware of in the city of Peekskill, as we did today. But if you have any questions that you would like to ask us, or anything that you would like to know that you may not see or you may miss if you don't see a council meeting, sometimes we reiterate things from the council meeting to here, because some people aren't up late at night on Mondays watching the council meeting. So we kind of just give you a little bit of a review on Tuesday morning, so we also try to give you an update of what's coming up for that week. As we said, normally we'd be talking about the St. Patrick's Day Parade, other things like that. So if there's anything that you want to know, and you're not able to catch these meetings at 11 o'clock in the morning, remember, we do place these meetings on our YouTube page, on our city government channel, as well as our Facebook page. So you can ask us a question, we can answer it, and you can watch this video when you have time. The video circulates throughout the social media platform and our YouTube platform, as well as our city government channel for about a week or so before the next ones are published every other week. So feel free to submit a few questions if there's some things that you'd like to know, and if we can answer those questions in advance. So when you do get an opportunity to watch these videos, your question will be answered and you'll know exactly what to do or what's going on in the area of your concern. Other than that, I do want to say thank you all for tuning in. Andy, I'm assuming you're smiling because you got an interesting message. But I do
Somebody wants to know if it's Taco Tuesday today. So
I will say I'm not going to Taco Tuesday myself, but my mother loves Taco Tuesday, so I'm sure wherever she is right now, she's probably planning on doing that tonight. But if you do go to Taco Dive Bar, the tacos are really good over there too. But on another note, thank you all for tuning in.
thank you very much, Mayor. Take it easy. Talk
All right,
later.
have a good afternoon, Andy.